So next is classification of transducers. So how do you classify the transducers? So usually these are divided into many types. Like the first one is primary and secondary transducer. So depending on the type of application you need, you can be classified into primary and secondary. For example, when you are giving the input signal, means when the input signal is directly sensed by the transducer, then automatically means when you are giving input signal, input directly given to transducer. So when input is given directly to the transducer, that physical phenomena will be converted into electrical form directly. So directly if you are doing, that is called as primary transducer. For example, when you are using a thermistor to measure the temperature fall, or then the thermistor can sense the temperature directly, and it can cause the change in resistance. So automatically what is the change of temperature will be displayed. Same way, when the input sensor, like when the input signal is sensed by signal sensed by some detector or sensors in the circuit, if they are sensing, and then the output is converted into another form and displayed and giving you the output, such things are called as secondary transformer. Okay, so when input is directly given to the transformer, it is called as primary. When input is given and it is sensed by the sensor and then slowly the change is shown, means the output is shown, means such is called as secondary transducer. For example, when we are calculating the pressure, okay, so such kind of things we have classification of transducers. Second one is active and passive. So active and passive transducers. So transducers on the basics of energy conversion are classified as active and passive. The self-generated type transducers, which develop their output in the form of electrical voltage or something, so such are referred as the active ones. And transducers in which electrical parameters like maybe resistor, inductor or capacitor, whatever it is, they always have change in input, those are called as passive. So active means where the transducers are directly to the electric unit, means like electric voltage, and transducers in which electrical parameters will change with the input are called as passive. Then we have analog and digital transducers. Simple. Transducers, depending on the nature, if they are displaying the output like directly, like showing with some range of it or some picture of it, such as a thermistors, strain gauges, like that, those are called as analog. Digital means, of course, nowadays because of advantages associated with this digital measuring instruments, we are having no effect on the digital signals, so it can give us, like without causing any distortions, it can give us a perfect value, so those are called as digital without any phase shifts. Okay, then the fourth one is transducer and inverse transducer. Transducers and inverse. So transducers, that like it is a device, right, that converts a non-electrical quantity into electrical quantity. So these are called as transducers. Inverse transducers means that converts electrical quantity into non-electrical, just reverse of it. Okay, so an ammeter or voltmeter converts electrical current into mechanical movement, right? So such things are called as inverse transducers. So these are the kinds of transducers. Actually, all the transducers are the same, but some has some preferences, right? So active, for example, primary, passive, analog, IT can be one transducer like that. Or secondary, active, analog transducer can be one kind of. So any one of this, 4 will be in one transducer, but any one will be there. Either it can be called a primary transducer where it is having an active element with analog display and which just converts electrical to another form. Another form to electrical. Or it might be a secondary transformer which transducer which is having a passive thing which shows a digital display, and it is an inverse transformer which converts this electrical quantity into non-electrical. So kinds of those are called as classifications of transducers.